Hi there. Welcome to Hands-on SQL for Data Science presented by EC Council. Now, before starting the curriculum, let's answer some basic questions. What is SQL? SQL or SQL or structured query language, call it whatever you want. It is the most common language for extracting and organizing data that is stored in a database. Now, a database is a collection of many things like tables, sequences, functions, then procedures. But the data is a primary thing in a database, and the data is stored in a table. The table consists of rows and columns, and SQL is used to get the data from those tables. So in one word, SQL is the language of databases. It will help you to retrieve the specific information from database that can be further used for analysis. And even when the analysis is being done on some different platforms like Python or R, SQL is a mandatory tool. It is required to extract the data. And the next question is, why do you need to learn SQL? If you are looking for a breakthrough in the field of data, if you want to be a data analyst or a data engineer or a data scientist, SQL is the most common and the most popular tool, and you need to learn and you have to learn SQL. It is undoubtedly the most important language if you want to get a job in the field of data. Well, millions of data points are being generated every day, every minute, and this raw data doesn't have any story to tell. So this data has to be stored in a database, and you have to write some SQL queries to extract this data for the further analysis. So yes, SQL is the most powerful tool in the world of data. Now, how can you learn SQL? You have already taken the first step, so you are here. Next thing is you need to practice SQL. There are a lot of tools available, and some of them are free, like the dbFiddle, SQL Fiddle, then SQL Zoo, where you can connect, you can practice, you can create a database, you can create the tables, you can load the data into those tables, and you can write queries to extract the data. So the first and the foremost thing is you learn the SQL and then you keep on practicing SQL. And if you want to challenge yourself, you can join the hacker rank and try to solve their challenges. I would recommend that because it will help you to crack a SQL interview. And then finally, does SQL have a future? Well, SQL is the only thing that I learned in my college, in my engineering days, and I am still using it. So if you ask me if SQL has a future, it is still in the market and it will be there for a few more years, few more decades maybe. And SQL is very versatile. It can be used in the different databases. It can be used in the different frameworks. So if you know SQL, there are a lot of opportunities that will be open up for you. So yes, SQL is here to stay. Course roadmap. So you will get to know what are the SQL topics that I'll be covering in this curriculum and what are the things that you will learn by the end of this SQL course. So the first section is all about introductions and installations. I will show you how you can install SQL Workbench, and then we will keep the application ready so that once we go back to the hands-on section, you can just start working on the application. The second chapter is all about database concepts. It's a theoretical chapter where you will learn about what is a database, what are the different types of database, what are data types, what is the primary constraint and the foreign key constraint or unique constraint, and also about the DDL, which is data definition language, and DML, which is data manipulation language. So this chapter is all about the theoretical concepts. The next chapter is SQL basics. So this is a hands-on section entirely where you will use the concepts that you learned in the previous section. So in this section, you will create a database, then you will create a table, you will alter the table, drop the table, and then you will start working on the DML concepts, like where you will insert the data, you will select the data from the table, and then it will filter out the data from the tables based on some conditions. The next chapter is about advanced SQL. In this chapter, you will work on the string functions, date functions, aggregate functions, or the SQL utilities like the case, limit. Then you will work on subqueries and joins. So advanced SQL, this chapter is entirely hands-on and you will learn a lot of new concepts which are very important, and there are a lot of interview questions on this chapter mainly. So you have to really pay good attention in advanced SQL topics. In the course of the video, you can pause the video, take some time, work on your own understanding, and then you can again get back. The final chapter I've added is about data analysis. So if you're looking for a data analysis or data engineer or maybe a data scientist role, so in these roles, along with SQL, you are supposed to know Python. And Python and SQL together is a beautiful combination, and you can do a lot of work using the Python and SQL together. So in the last chapter, I will give you the concepts, how you can use the Python and SQL together, and I will help you install the basic Python applications where you will work and you can see some results. So yes, this is the overall roadmap and overall topics that I have included in this course. So I will see you in the next section where we will start for installing the SQL Workbench. See you there. Thank you.